In this video, I'm going to provide an overview of the famous Chateauneuf-du-Pape region in the Southern Rhone region of France. Chateauneuf-du-Pape is a fantastic region for wine collectors for at least a couple of reasons. First, this region still offers incredible value. There's many of very high quality wines being produced at relatively affordable prices compared to other regions. Second, many of you don't like to wait or buy wines and then put them in your cellar for a number of years before enjoying them. And the great thing about Chateauneuf is that many of these wines, especially those that are dominant in Grenache, can be enjoyed on release, or you can also age them in your cellar and enjoy them with 5 to 8 years or more of additional bottle age. And so it gives you tremendous flexibility. Chateauneuf-du-Pape is located near Avignon in the Southern Rhone region of France. It's a vast AOC with 3,000 hectares planted to vine. There's 13 different grapes that are permitted to be grown in this AOC, or 18 if you include the color variants for 5 of them. Many of the wines that are produced in this region are dominant Grenache red blends that also include a little bit of Syrah and Mourvedre, and sometimes a small percentage of other varietals as well. Both red wines and white wines are permitted, but 90% of the wines that are produced in this region are red wines and only about 10% are white. While most of the red wines produced in Chateauneuf-du-Pape are GSM blends, it is not required for the wines to be a blend, unlike some other regions in the Southern Rhone portion of France. And so producers can make a 100% single variety wine if they so choose. For example, Chateau Rayas makes a wine that's 100% Grenache. With respect to climate, the vintages have been getting warmer in Chateauneuf-du-Pape, and so the vintages have been fairly consistent. It's somewhat unusual for Chateauneuf to have a truly bad vintage. Historically, it was difficult for producers to get their grapes ripened, and in fact, there was even a minimum alcohol requirement. And so those vineyards that had galets roulés, or these stone pebbles that were located throughout the vineyards, were thought to be a very important factor. These pebbles helped to ensure ripeness for the grapes each year because they would absorb heat during the day and then radiate that heat back to the vines at night, which helped to ripen the grapes even at night when it was cooler. Now, however, heat is a bigger problem, and so these galets roulés are not as important as they were in years past. Another big factor in the vineyards is the Mistral winds. These are very strong winds that can damage the grapes and reduce yields. One way that producers help to prevent damage from these strong winds is by training their vines to bush vines rather than using a trellis. By having bush vines that are close to the ground, they help to minimize some of the damage from the wind, and given the heat and the strong sun that is experienced in Chateauneuf-du-Pape, these bush vines also help to shield the grapes and protect them from sunburn. While it's difficult to generalize a description of a Chateauneuf-du-Pape wine due to the variations that can be achieved by the different blending components, it's not unusual for these wines to have a little bit lighter color and for them to be rich, bold wines that have a red fruit profile and which have so-called garrigue descriptors. Garrigue is the word that's used to describe some of the herbs that grow on the side of the road in this portion of France, and that include things such as sage, thyme, lavender, and rosemary. And if they're a Grenache-dominant blend, there can be a little bit lower acidity, as Grenache is a low-acid grape. Again, however, this will vary by blend, and to the extent that the producer includes a higher percentage of Mourvedre and Syrah, certainly there could be a darker fruit profile and perhaps a bit more acidity than if it was a Grenache-dominant blend.